Hello and welcome to my kitchen. So I'm going to pretend like I'm calling the Kaylee, but I'm not calling the Kaylee. I'm baking brownies, blondies, whatever you want to call them. So this is going to be entertaining. So on the Kaylee Band Slack group, I posted a recipe for blondies. It came from this lovely book of mine, which apparently I got for £2 in the charity shop, but you know, it's a good book. So I am making the white chocolate and apricot blondies, but I'm doing it a little bit differently based on the ingredients I have. Because obviously, coronavirus pandemic, woo, first time we'll mention it. Yeah, this has meant that I haven't been able to get things like self-raising flour and plain flour even. So we're doing things a little bit differently. So, we do have chocolate. We're not doing white chocolate blondies today, we're doing milk chocolate blondies, which basically equates to brownies. So, I'm making brownies, fine. We have some butter and some marge, because I don't have enough butter to do the whole thing, because that is clearly how this works. I do have 2 eggs though, success. I have my lovely sugar canister, which hopefully has some sugar in it, we'll find out later. Because I am doing brownies, not blondies, I've decided to omit the vanilla essence. I do have some in the cupboard over there, just I don't feel it would suit. And this is where it gets particularly experimental. Instead of self-raising flour, I'm using some leftover pasta flour. I have no idea what this is going to do to my brownies, but we're going to try it anyway. And because of that, we're going to do some extra baking powder just to help it rise. For my dried fruit, I have a lovely jar of dried fruit here. It's a mixture of cranberries, papaya and pineapple, I think. I got it from the farm shop, it's just called exotic fruit mix. I'm hoping there's enough in here. We'll find out when I come to weigh it out. I've also got all my utensils prepped. So I've got a nice clean bowl to mix stuff in. Saucepan for melting stuff in. I've got my wooden spoon. I have prepped my dish with my baking paper. And yeah, I've got all the other bits and pieces I think I'm going to need. So the first thing I need to do is I need to turn the oven on to about 180 degrees. So we're just going to guess that that's about there. Because that's how this oven works, you just guess what you're pointing at, and that's fine. Right, and now the first thing we have to do is we are going to break half the chocolate into pieces and place in a saucepan with the butter. So I'm actually going to start by measuring out my butter first, just because that makes more sense to me. As you can see, tiny bit of butter, knife, scales that won't turn on, obviously. Right, scales are now on, so I'm going to tip that in. That is a whole 34 grams. I'm aiming for 85 grams, I think. Yes, 85 grams. So we're going to use some nice utterly butterly to top it up. And I hope I still have enough marge for sandwiches. Which might be interesting. Might have to attempt to go and buy some marge at some point soon. But I do have enough to make brownies. Success! Okay, now we've finished with those, so we'll just put that there. We're just going to pop this onto the side, just to get it out of the way. But maybe not that side because I've actually got some in it, so let's pop it over here. Then I might actually remember to put it away. Okay, so I've got my butter. Now we're going to get the chocolate. So the recipe calls for 200 grams of chocolate. I've only got 150 grams, so I'm just going to do half and half. So we've got nice Dr. Oetker. I don't know, how do you say that? Does anyone know where it comes from? Maybe it says on here. No, not particularly. At this point, I finally get into my chocolate. Okay, so one half of my chocolate is already nicely broken up, so I'm just going to break that up a little bit further. As you can see, milk chocolate, therefore making brownies, not blondies. because that is what is available in my kitchen. So I have successfully put half the chocolate in my saucepan. I'm now going to get my wooden spoon and I'm going to go over to my hob and we're going to gently melt this. So I realise you probably can't see a lot of what's going on over here, but you know, you can probably just see me standing by the thing. So I have turned my hob on and I'm going to gently melt my chocolate. And we're going to see how long it takes and how hot I get. So while we're doing this, I should probably think of random things to chat to you about. This is kind of like doing a random cooler test. You know, you stand in front of the microphone, you just talk and talk and talk for basically until the sound tech tells you to shut up. That feels a bit like this right now. I can see Paul in the other room kind of smiling to himself. Probably going, what on earth is she blathering about? Like, well, he knows I'm teaching you how to make brownies, or I'm telling you how I'm making brownies with my experimental methods. I don't know how well this is going to go, but we're just going to do it. So I'm mixing this together. It's not really melting very far yet. If you are doing this at home with me, you want to do this on a gentle heat. You don't want burnt chocolate. Burnt chocolate's no fun. Not recommended, I have to say. I remember as a child, I used to do quite a lot of baking with my mum. And yeah, I learned what the smell of burnt melted chocolate in the microwave was. And that was always really sad because inevitably we'd use the entirety of the chocolate on the first go. And then we had no chocolate. I mean, normally we were melting it to put on cakes and things. So it wasn't really the end of the world, but you know, who doesn't love chocolate? I mean, okay, I'm sure there are some people, but unless you have a health reason, why don't you like chocolate? I mean, really. I don't really understand that. But anyway, we are still melting. It is beginning to go a bit kind of sloppy and gooey now, so we're definitely on our way. My butter was at room temperature because I keep all my butter at room temperature. It just makes it so much easier to put on bread. You know, hard butter, homemade bread. Normally the bread falls apart and then you have bits of sandwich and that's always a bit disappointing, isn't it? So yeah. So while I'm in this, let's ask you a question. How are you guys doing with the whole stay-at-home thing? I mean, I'm not getting too mad. I spend a lot of time at home anyway, so... But, you know, I thought that doing this would be kind of fun, and it would keep me out of mischief, and it would probably give Paul some laughs while he's working away in the other room. So, you know, I can see him smiling to himself, so clearly it's working. So my chocolate is melting fairly well. I've realised it turned out I'm quite good at just chatting to a camera. I thought this felt really weird, but actually it just feels like talking to an empty room when you're sound checking. So yeah, I think I could do this. So my chocolate is still not quite there, but it's looking nice and gooey and melty. I'll bring it up to the camera when it's done, just, you know, so you can see it. Yeah, I kind of run out of things to say at this point because chocolate melting, I mean, I've got to make sure it don't burn, haven't I? I suppose we can think about our favourite things with chocolate in. And you know, it's coming up to Easter, so... I mean, at my guides, we made Rice Krispie cakes covered in chocolate. They're always a hit. I personally was a fan of the shredded wheat version. I know not many people are, but I was. Also the cornflakes and golden syrup one, yum, just great. But you know, I'll have chocolate pretty much for everything. Chocolate is great. Yeah, so my chocolate and butter mixy thing is looking pretty much nearly done. So I'm going to turn my hob off and I'm going to come and show you my nice gooey chocolateness. I don't know how well you can see that, so I'm going to like wander around, bringing it up forward. And I'm going to look behind at the camera. Oh yeah, you can just about see that I've got gooey chocolate stuff in here. I mean, that was supposed to be a little bit close to my laptop, so I'm going to come back this way with my melted chocolate. It turns out that some of the mud isn't quite melted yet. It's on the back of my spoon. So while I do the next bit, I'm just going to leave it on the cooling down hob. I might come and stir it once or twice. But I'm just going to let it stay generically runny, because we want it runny for the next bit. That also gave me a good opportunity to check that my camera was still working. I've not really used this camera for recording much, so there we go. Right, now that we have melted the chocolate, I'm going to swap this for my chopping board, because I've got to dice the remaining chocolate. Fun times. Who doesn't like dicing chocolate? So, half of this chocolate is going to be tipped in and mixed in with the dry ingredients, and half of it is going to be sprinkled on the top. Because I don't have all the chocolate, I'm going to say that I'm going to do 2/3, no, 3/4 mixed in, and 2/3 on top. So when I'm dicing my chocolate, I'm actually just cutting each square into 4 because convenient. It's always one of my favourite bits. Interestingly, it's also one of my guide's favourite bits as well. I wonder why. I mean, I'm pretty sure that when the guides do it, more of it ends up in their mouths than in the cake, or in whatever we're trying to make. But the guides have fun, and that's kind of all that matters. And we've hopefully taught them how to do something as well. But you never know. Anyway, this isn't about guides. Just because I do lots of guides, this isn't about it. So, I'm breaking up my chocolate. This chocolate is amazingly actually cooking quite well. I probably should have said this is cooking chocolate rather than anything particularly fancy. I mean, it's fancy cooking chocolate. Again, what I could get during everyone panic buying. I reckon people are making lots of cakes. That's what I reckon's going on. I don't know how true that is, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, one of the hardest things I found to buy is bread flour. Like, bread flour just doesn't seem to exist in my local shops anymore. So clearly everyone is like, oh, we're going to be at home, so let's have homemade bread. It's like, yeah, great, but now you've stolen all the flour from the people who actually, don't buy normal bread. That's just inconvenient, that's what that is. Oh, maybe we should do another one of these where I'm making bread for you. That would be kind of fun. Right, I now have a chopping board of diced chocolate. Success. Okay, right, I now need to do some more weighing out. I think I may have just dropped some chocolate, but never mind, we'll rescue it later. Okay, so in my big bowl, I'm going to put, what am I going to put? I'm going to put my eggs, sugar, and the vanilla that I'm not using, but if you're using vanilla, go for it. Anyway, I'm going to put my eggs in here first. So we have some Happy Egg Company eggs. I think that's because that was what was available. I didn't do the shopping this week, Paul went and did the shopping for us this week. So yeah. Okay, so 1 egg is in. I'm going to need 2 eggs, so once I've scraped this one out, obviously I will do another egg. I've also managed to get a bit of shell in here already, so that's good going. But it's all rescued, so we're good. Right, my egg is just going to go on the side, ready for washing up. Did you know dried eggs make, and you dry them, you crunch them. No, you don't crunch them up. You dry them, you wash them, you dry them. You put them in a cool oven, like while you're heating it up for something else. And then you crunch it all together and the slugs hate it. But you have to wash them, otherwise they like it. Because it's a tasty treat. Random interesting things you probably didn't need to know, but you know them now anyway. How to have zero waste. Well, semi-zero waste. It makes good slug repellent, that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, right, my eggs are now in the bowl. I now have slightly eggy hands. So, guess what? I'm going to wash my hands again. Next, I need my sugar. And my sugar canister helpfully says sugar, and is actually full of sugar. I mean, I didn't actually check before I started recording this, so that could have been entertaining. But, anyway. I inconveniently have my scales telling me that they're low on battery. And no, they're not low on battery, so let's just go for it. Right, I need 115 grams of sugar. So, just pouring the sugar in. Pouring the sugar. Sugar going in. 101. 111, 117. That is close enough. In all my baking, I tend to do close enough is good enough. Plus or minus 5 tends to work. I'm going to put my sugar back where it belongs, by the kettle and the tea box, because every house should have a tea box with a selection of teas for your guests. Just saying. Right, okay. My eggs and sugar are in a bowl, and then I'm supposed to use an electric whisk and whisk it for about 5 minutes until thick and foamy and the mixture leaves a trail. I don't have an electric whisk, so I'm going to hope it's not going to take 5 minutes. I do have this old-fashioned device though. I didn't really know these existed till I went to uni and one of my friends had one, and I was obsessed with it. I mean, I'm still pretty obsessed with it, but imagine my delight when I discovered that Paul had one. Anyway, instead of talking to you and playing with it, I should talk to you and stick it in my eggs and sugar and start whisking. So I'm whisking. I mean, this basically feels like I'm trying to start making a meringue, which is, you know, probably how it goes. So my eggs are whisking, the sugar doesn't want to get involved. I'll keep going. Keep going. So yeah. So what else can we have a chat about? I've not really been doing a lot of folk music the last few days. I mean, I've been playing my instruments, mostly my flute and my piano. But I've been kind of taking a divergence away from folk, and I've been playing quite a lot of classical actually. Playing a few bits of Beethoven, bit of Mozart, bit of Chopin. On the flute, I'm just playing through all the stuff I used to play as a student. That was kind of fun. I'm gradually working my way through my stack of old flute books, just because I'm finding it marginally entertaining. Keeps me out of mischief. I obviously spend a lot of time crafting, so maybe I'll do another video log when I'm doing some crafting at some point. That would be kind of entertaining. Yeah, you have a video log with a spinning wheel, maybe some knitting or some crochet, and I just talk at you while I crochet. That'd be entertaining because I did a Skype call with a different friend yesterday, and it turns out while I'm talking to people, I can't count. I mean, I can't count anyway, as anyone who's had me call will know. I always make the dancers do their own counting. So, yeah. Now, this is definitely going to be one of those points where I decide whether I can actually be bothered to do the egg and sugar until, what's it supposed to leave? Until it leaves a trail. It's definitely not leaving the trail, it's very goopy. So we'll keep going for a bit. Tum-ty-tum-ty-tum. At this point, I would like to request you to put your own filler music in here. You know, what music do you think you should listen to while I'm busy whisking? Consider it your on-hold music. Maybe pick Green Sleeves or something. I would sing some songs at you, but my voice still hasn't really recovered from my cold, so we're not going to do that. No, it's still not leaving the ground, it's kind of sleepy and weird. So most of the reason for doing this step is just to add lots of air to it, which will in turn help it to rise. I mean, given I'm not using self-raising flour and I'm using baking powder, I mean the recipe calls for a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm probably going to do extra, maybe 2 teaspoons, and see what happens. As I say, this is entirely experimental baking. I've got a recipe, I'm using what's in my house. Because you know that's the best way to not have to go shopping all the time. Feel like baking, can't find all the stuff. Just use what you've got and make it up as you go along. Right, as you can tell, I am still whisking this. So as well as my camera recording audio, I've also got a microphone attached to my laptop. It's recording audio, and yeah, it doesn't seem to like my whisk. I think there's a lot of extra noise. So this is going to be fun to listen back to and see what this comes out as. Okay, right. So So my sugar and eggs, they're not perfect, but there's a fair amount of air in them, and quite frankly I can't be bothered anymore. Given this is an experiment from start to finish anyway, so we're going to experiment with not having to whisk quite as much. If you're doing this yourself, you know, feel free to whisk as much as you like. Right, do I need my whisk anymore? No, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go pop this over here, ready for washing up. Now I'm going to come back to my melted chocolate. So my next job is I'm going to fold in my melted chocolate mixture, and then I'm going to add some other bits and bobs. So we'll get to the other bits and bobs in a minute. Gooey, yummy melted chocolate. So I'm going to gently pour it in. It made some really cool patterns just then. I might have to do this another time so you can see the cool patterns it made. You know, with the hot water and the cold water, all these lovely convection patterns. Actually, it looks a little bit like a brain. I mean, not in the colouring or anything, it's like yellowish and brownish. But yeah, anyway. So I'm going to put this on my heat-proof surface. And then I'm just going to really gently mix it all together. To try and keep as much of the air as I've just put in it. At this point you discover that I'm actually quite impatient and I don't like taking forever folding stuff in. I mean, I'm taking it as a good sign that my eggs haven't like split or anything. It's not gone all curdled. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's looking really rather nice. I'll come up to the camera with it in a minute so you can see my gloopiness. So I'm going to come around here and bring it up to the camera. I'm going to risk dropping it on my laptop. Oh, that was a bit low. So yeah, you can see my nice gloopy mess. Gloop, gloop, gloop. I'm going to come back to my baking station. Okay, so I have folded in my chocolate mixture into my eggs and my sugar. So now my next task is I'm going to fold in the flour and baking powder. So I need 115 grams of self-raising flour. We all know that I'm not using self-raising flour. I'm using pasta flour because I am a mad woman who likes to live adventurously. And also this will help me use up my pasta flour. I'll be honest, I made pasta. I get a bit bored making pasta. I can't see me making pasta again in a hurry. So we're just going to go for using it here. Right. So 67, 80, 100, 109, 114, 116. That'll do. And I still have more pasta flour. So if I was desperate to make pasta, I could still make pasta. Right, as we discussed, I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of this in. I forgot to get my teaspoon measure out, so I'm going to pop to the drawer over here and find out that none of them are in the drawer. I'm going to go to this drawer. I'm going to get an actual teaspoon instead of my nice measure. And we're going to have a nice teaspoon of baking powder, flop. Second teaspoon of baking powder, flop. I'm going to put that to one side. And then I'm just going to continue with the gentle folding. I can turn my scales off to, you know, preserve the battery as much as I can. Right, and then we are folding flour in. Again, I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm, you know, showing it, attempting to show it to you anyway. So, despite the fact that I'm using pasta flour, this is looking pretty much exactly the same as normal. So, the main difference that I've discovered between pasta flour and normal flour, pasta flour is often finer. It often contains, this one contains durum wheat and semolina. Oh no, durum wheat, semolina, it's all one thing. So I don't know what that will do to the taste. I'm hoping that with all the chocolate in it and all the fruit, then it's not actually going to make much difference. So this is coming out nicely. I've got minimal random bits of flour everywhere. Yep, so there are minimal random bits of flour. It's all mixing together rather nicely, basically. I'm going to bring this up to the camera and walk around my table. You can see my nice gloopy mixture. So, welcome back to my kitchen. So, the astute among you may have noticed that the video may have stopped recording. Obviously, my workstation is a little bit clearer than it was before. So unfortunately, I was getting around to showing you my nice gloopy folded in flour. But unfortunately, it failed to record when I was adding my dried fruit and my chocolate. And when I was having a lot of fun gloopily pouring it into my baking tray. So I'm really sorry you missed that bit. I will learn to use my recording equipment better next time. If there is a next time. I mean, I hope there'll be a next time. We could do lots of fun topics. This would be great fun. But yes, a quick rundown of what you missed. I weighed out my dried fruit. I put it in. I put in 3/4 of the chocolate I diced and put it in. And then I poured it all into my pre-prepared baking tray ceramic dish thing. And I put it in the oven. The oven timer has not long gone off, but I thought we'd, do this out here. So unfortunately, as you can see, there's still some chocolate left on here. Yeah, I failed to sprinkle it on the top like I was supposed to. So I'm going to sprinkle it on the top afterwards and see if it melts a little bit. Hey, this is all a bit of an experiment, so, So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my nice heat proof mat out of my drawer. And then we're going to get my brownies out the oven. So here is my oven. Ooh, wow. So I'm going to bring it up towards the camera a bit. My brownies has risen well. How well can you see that? Fairly well. It is very, very wobbly. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it wobbles a bit. That tells me it is not yet done. These are actually also looking surprisingly blondie-like, which makes me very happy. So I reckon this probably needs another 10-15 minutes. So I'm going to pop it back in the oven. I'm going to turn off the recording equipment again. And I'll come back when it's finished. Okay, so once again, welcome back to my kitchen. So last time, wow, in the video that would be like mere moments ago, but last time I proved to you that my brownie wasn't cooked because it was very wobbly. So another 15 minutes have gone by, give or take. So we're gonna check it again. Oh, one thing I should say is that I realised as I was putting it back in the oven and after I turned off the video, but I should have sprinkled my spare chocolate on at that point. So I did sprinkle my spare chocolate on at that point. I'm not sure it's really added to the look, but the chocolate has been sprinkled. That's all that matters. So we're going to go to our oven and we're going to get our brownies out. It is significantly less wobbly. I'm going to put it on my heat-proof mat. I'm going to get my knife and I'm going to see if it comes out clean. Amazingly that has, but we'll test it in a couple of spots just in case. So my knife has come out very clean. My brownies look really nice. I will bring it up to the camera to show you. Here we go, here are my finished brownies. Very yummy looking, don't you think? So what's going to happen now is I'm going to leave these to cool. I'm just going to leave them to cool in the tin. And then when it's all done, I'm just going to lift it out using the baking paper, cut it up and eat it. So that's going to finish today's vlog. There will be some photos of the finished things at some point. I will post them somewhere. I might even edit the video afterwards to include a few photos of it. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my random witterings. I had a lot of fun talking to the camera, so if you've got any topics or any like crafts that you know I do that you'd like me to give you a vague tutorial on, or maybe some more baking we could do, then do just let me know and we can do more time with Stephanie, because Stephanie likes talking to a microphone. Have a good evening. I hope you've not gone as insane as I have. Bye!